Welcome to Famous People, English Stories. Ready to level up your English? Here we learn through stories slow, clear, and fun. Listen, relax, and enjoy the journey.
Introduction. Today's story is about a man who changed history. He inspired people around the world. He made the word hope powerful again. His name is Barack Obama, the 44th President of the United States and the first African American to hold that office. But Obama's journey to the White House didn't start with power or money. It started with questions. Who am I? Where do I belong? What can I do to make the world better? Chapter 1: Barack Obama, From Hope to History. Barack Obama was born in Honolulu, Hawaii, on August 4, 1961. His father, Barack Obama Sr., came from Kenya in East Africa. His mother, Ann Dunham, was from Kansas in the United States. They met while studying at the University of Hawaii. This mix of cultures made Barack unique. He often said, "I'm the son of a black man from Kenya and a white woman from Kansas." But life wasn't easy. His parents separated when he was young. His father left and returned to Kenya. Obama was raised mostly by his mother and grandparents. He moved to Indonesia when his mother remarried. There, he went to school and saw a very different world, one with both beauty and poverty. Later, he returned to Hawaii to finish his schooling. As a boy, Obama felt like an outsider. He wasn't sure where he fit in. He was too black for some people, too white for others. He asked big questions at a young age. What does it mean to be American? What does it mean to be black? These questions stayed with him and helped shape the man he would become. Obama studied hard. He was smart, curious, and thoughtful. He read books, played basketball, and tried to find his identity. He was not perfect. He made mistakes. But he kept learning. And he never gave up. He later attended Occidental College in Los Angeles, then transferred to Columbia University in New York City. There, he studied political science and international relations. But he still felt that something was missing. He wanted to do more than study politics, he wanted to change lives. So, after graduation, he moved to Chicago to become a community organizer. He worked in poor neighborhoods, helping people find jobs, improve schools, and build better housing. He didn't earn much money. The work was hard. But he loved it. It gave him a purpose. It connected him to people's real struggles. Obama said later, "It was the best education I ever had." It taught him how change really happens, not from the top down, but from the bottom up. But he wanted to go further. He knew that to make a bigger impact, he needed more tools. So he went to Harvard Law School. There, he became the first black president of the prestigious Harvard Law Review. It was a big deal. People started to notice him. They saw a calm, intelligent leader with a gift for words. After Harvard, Obama returned to Chicago. He worked as a civil rights lawyer and taught law. He also met a woman named Michelle Robinson. She was strong, smart, and passionate. She came from a working-class family in Chicago. At first, she was his mentor at the law firm. Later, she became his wife, his partner, and his biggest supporter. They built a life together. They had 2 daughters, Malia and Sasha. Obama often said that being a father was his most important job. At home, he was just dad. He helped with homework, told bedtime stories, and cheered at soccer games. But the call to serve was still strong. Obama ran for political office. He won a seat in the Illinois State Senate, then later, the U.S. Senate. People liked his calm voice, his hopeful message, and his ability to bring people together. He wasn't just a politician. He was a storyteller, a listener, and a dreamer. Then, in 2008, he ran for President of the United States. It was a bold move. Many people said America wasn't ready for a black president. But Obama believed in hope. His campaign message was simple: yes, we can. He inspired millions. Young people, old people, people of every background joined his movement. On November 4, 2008, history was made. Barack Obama was elected president. Tears of joy ran down people's faces. Hope had won. But that was just the beginning of the story. Chapter 2: Barack Obama's Presidency, Leading with Hope and Challenge. Barack Obama stood on the steps of the U.S. Capitol on January 20, 2009. It was a cold winter day in Washington, D.C. But the air was filled with warmth, excitement, and history. Before a crowd of over 1 million people, and millions more watching on screens around the world, Obama placed his hand on Abraham Lincoln's Bible and took the oath of office. He became the 44th President of the United States, and the first African American president in the nation's history. He began his speech by saying, "My fellow citizens, I stand here today humbled by the task before us." He talked about unity, courage, and rebuilding a country during hard times. And the country was facing very hard times. When Obama took office, America was in a deep economic crisis. Businesses were closing. People were losing their jobs and homes. Banks were failing. The economy was broken. It was called the Great Recession. Obama acted quickly. He signed a large economic stimulus package to help the economy recover. The government gave money to rebuild roads, support schools, and protect jobs. Some people agreed. Others criticized the spending. But Obama believed the country had to act fast to stop more damage. He also worked to reform healthcare. For decades, millions of Americans could not afford to go to the doctor. Medical costs were too high. Insurance companies often denied coverage. Obama wanted to change that. After months of debate and protests, he signed the Affordable Care Act in 2010. People called it Obamacare. It helped millions of Americans get health insurance. For some, it was a dream come true. For others, it became a political battle. But Obama said, in the wealthiest nation on earth, no one should go broke just because they get sick. His presidency was not just about laws and policies, it was also about people. He visited families, comforted victims of natural disasters and shootings, and spoke to young students about dreams and education. He often said, "We are the change that we seek." One of the biggest moments of his presidency came in 2011. For nearly a decade, the terrorist leader Osama bin Laden had been hiding. He was the mastermind behind the September 11th attacks in 2001. Many had searched for him, but he had always escaped. Under Obama's leadership, a secret operation by U.S. Navy SEALs located and killed bin Laden in Pakistan. It was a major moment. Obama addressed the nation, saying, "Justice has been done." People across the U.S. celebrated. It was a victory, but also a reminder of the dangers the world still faced. At the same time, Obama focused on diplomacy and peace. He helped lead international talks on climate change. He worked to end wars and bring troops home from Iraq and Afghanistan. He also reopened relations with Cuba after over 50 years of silence. In 2009, he was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for his efforts to strengthen diplomacy and cooperation. But leading a country is never easy. Obama faced criticism and opposition. Some people thought he was too slow. Others thought he changed too much. The political divide in America grew wider. But Obama stayed calm. He believed in conversation, not anger. He said, "We can disagree without being disagreeable." He also faced racism and false attacks. Some people refused to believe he was born in the United States, even after he showed his birth certificate. Obama handled it with grace. He said, "The truth is, we're all connected. We rise and fall together." One of Obama's most powerful moments came after a tragedy. In 2015, a young man shot and killed 9 people in a church in Charleston, South Carolina. They were Black church members attending a Bible study. It was an act of hate. Obama gave a moving eulogy for one of the victims, Reverend Clementa Pinckney. At the end of his speech, Obama paused and then began to sing. His voice was quiet but strong. "Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound," the crowd joined in. It became a moment of healing and hope. During his 8 years as president, Obama faced economic crises, wars, health challenges, and deep divisions. But he also brought humor, heart, and hope to the White House. He held fun events, like basketball games and musical nights. He shared books with kids, made jokes at speeches, and even danced on stage. He reminded people that leadership is not about being perfect. It's about caring, trying, and believing in others. As his presidency came to an end in 2017, people looked back at the journey. He had not solved every problem, but he had changed the image of leadership. He made history. He lifted voices. He brought millions into the conversation. And he did it with kindness, courage, and class. His farewell speech was emotional. He thanked his wife, Michelle, "the love of my life." He praised his daughters. And he spoke directly to young people. "Yes, we can," he said once more. And then, with a smile, "Yes, we did." But Obama's story didn't end there. Chapter 3: Barack Obama, Life After the Presidency and His Enduring Legacy. After 8 years in the White House, Barack Obama left office in January 2017. He and his family moved back to private life. They stayed in Washington, D.C., so their younger daughter, Sasha, could finish school. But even though he was no longer president, Obama's journey was far from over. He left with grace. He didn't complain. He didn't fight. He respected the peaceful transfer of power, a tradition in American democracy. In his farewell speech, he reminded Americans, democracy does not require uniformity. Our founders quarreled and compromised and expected us to do the same. Now, as a former president, what would Obama do next? The answer: continue to serve, but in a new way. Barack and Michelle Obama started the Obama Foundation. Its mission is to inspire, empower, and connect people to change their communities. Through programs like the Obama Leaders and the Scholars Program, they support young changemakers around the world. Obama said, "The best way to not feel hopeless is to get up and do something." The couple also began work on the Obama Presidential Center in Chicago. This center will be more than a library. It will be a place for learning, leadership, and inspiration. It will include a museum, public park, and space for community events. Obama often says, "The center isn't about me, it's about us." It's about the next generation. But Obama didn't just work behind the scenes. He continued to speak out. He gave powerful speeches on equality, climate change, and democracy. He supported voting rights, education, and leadership for women and girls. And he always encouraged young people to get involved. He also turned to writing. In 2020, he published a memoir called A Promised Land. In it, he told the story of his rise from childhood to the presidency. He wrote with honesty, sharing both his successes and his doubts. The book became a bestseller around the world. Michelle Obama also wrote a best-selling memoir, Becoming, sharing her side of the story and inspiring millions. Together, the Obamas showed that leadership continues even after the spotlight fades. They also signed a deal with Netflix to produce films and documentaries. Their company, Higher Ground, shares powerful stories about real people. One of their productions, American Factory, even won an Academy Award. Their goal? To tell stories that inspire hope and spark change. Even in a world full of noise and division, Barack Obama remains a calm and steady voice. He doesn't seek drama. He doesn't shout. Instead, he listens. He teaches. He reminds people to believe in themselves, in their communities, and in the future. His speeches still move millions. His words, like "Yes, we can," "Fired up," "Ready to go," and "The arc of history bends toward justice," continue to echo in hearts across the world. People see in Obama a leader who is thoughtful, kind, and strong. He showed that politics doesn't have to be angry. It can be hopeful. He showed that leadership doesn't come from power, it comes from purpose. Obama's legacy is more than laws or policies. It's the young people who now believe they can lead. It's the kids who see someone who looks like them and say, "I can do that too." It's the millions who were once invisible but now feel seen. He opened doors. He changed minds. And he made people feel that they matter. Barack Obama once said, "I believe in the power of stories. I believe in the power of voices. And I believe that together, we can build a better world." So, what can we learn from his journey? We learn that your background doesn't define your future. We learn that questions can lead to strength. That kindness is not weakness. That hope is not naive. And that when you dream big, work hard, and care deeply, you can change history. Barack Obama continues to inspire the world, not just because he was the first Black president, but because he led with vision, compassion, and heart. And for English learners, his story teaches more than just vocabulary or grammar. It teaches courage, purpose, and the importance of never giving up. So the next time you feel small, uncertain, or lost, remember this story. Remember Obama's words. Change will not come if we wait for some other person or some other time. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the change that we seek. Yes, we can. Yes, you can. Chapter 4, Love Story, Barack and Michelle. When Barack Obama first met Michelle Robinson, he was not the famous leader the world now knows. He was just a young, confident law student from Harvard, starting a summer internship at a law firm in Chicago. Michelle was already working there, a successful and focused lawyer. She was asked to be his mentor. At first, she thought it would be unprofessional to date him. But as they spent time together, she saw something special in him, something sincere, intelligent, and kind. Their first date was simple but meaningful. Barack took Michelle to the Art Institute of Chicago. They walked, talked, and laughed. They also went out for ice cream. It was a warm summer day, and they shared one cone. Later, Michelle would say, "That day, I knew he was different." Their love grew not through grand gestures, but through everyday moments, deep conversations, shared dreams, and mutual respect. Barack admired Michelle's strength and integrity. Michelle admired Barack's calm spirit, his big ideas, and his love for people. They supported each other's goals. When Barack decided to work as a community organizer instead of taking a high-paying job, Michelle supported his choice. And when he entered politics, she stood beside him even when it was difficult. Marriage came in 1992. Life was not always easy. They had to pay off student loans, balance busy careers, and later raise 2 daughters. But they always worked as a team. Michelle said, "We were very different. I was practical. He was a dreamer. But we grew stronger together." As Barack's political career advanced, Michelle faced challenges of her own. When he ran for president, the spotlight turned to their whole family. Suddenly, every move she made was watched. People judged her clothes, her words, even her tone. But she stayed strong. She said, "When they go low, we go high." That phrase became famous around the world. Michelle didn't just stand behind Barack, she stood with him. As First Lady, she launched campaigns to fight childhood obesity, support education, and help military families. She also inspired millions of young girls to believe in themselves. Barack always gave her credit. He once said, "Michelle is the most honest, thoughtful person I know. She's my rock." Their love was not perfect, but it was real. They showed that a strong relationship needs trust, effort, and mutual respect. Even after leaving the White House, they remained a powerful team. They wrote books, started a production company, and continued to speak out for justice and equality. They still hold hands, laugh at private jokes, and cheer for each other's success. Their story teaches us something important. True love grows through patience, teamwork, and deep friendship. It's not about being perfect. It's about growing together. Chapter 5, Parenting in the White House, Raising Sasha and Malia. Imagine growing up in the White House. Your home has 132 rooms. There are security guards everywhere. Your father is the President of the United States. This was life for Sasha and Malia Obama. But even with all the power and fame, Barack and Michelle wanted their daughters to grow up like normal kids, with love, discipline, and good values. Sasha and Malia were just 7 and 10 years old when their father became president. When Barack won the election, he said, "I love you both more than you can imagine. You have earned the new puppy that's coming with us to the White House." That dog, Bo, became a symbol of joy and normalcy for the girls. Barack and Michelle made a clear decision. they would do everything they could to keep their daughters grounded. They set rules. The girls had to make their beds, finish their homework, and do chores, even while living in the most powerful house in the world. Michelle said, "People ask if our kids are spoiled. And I say, not with me as their mother." Every morning, Barack tried to have breakfast with Sasha and Malia. He said those moments were important. It reminded them that he was not just the president, he was their dad. At night, he often read to them or helped with homework, even after long days filled with big decisions and serious meetings. Michelle was very involved in the girls' lives. She attended school events and helped them with their routines. She made sure they had sleepovers with friends, watched movies, and even played outside. "I want them to be confident, independent, and kind," Michelle said. The girls went to a private school in Washington, D.C. They made friends and studied just like other students. The school had extra security, but the Obamas wanted their daughters to have real friendships, not just live in a bubble of fame. Parenting in the public wasn't easy. The media wanted to take photos and tell stories about the girls. But Barack and Michelle protected their privacy. They asked the press to give their daughters space, and most respected that request. Michelle once said, "Our greatest responsibility is to raise decent, smart, and compassionate young women." And they did. Over the years, the world watched Sasha and Malia grow from shy girls into graceful, confident young women. When Barack finished his second term, the family moved out of the White House, but their bond remained strong. They traveled together, had dinner as a family, and continued to support each other. Even with their busy lives, they stayed close. One moment stands out in Barack's speeches. He said, "Of all the things I've done in my life, I'm most proud of being your dad." That sentence shows what mattered most to him, not the fame, not the power, but the love of his family. Now Sasha and Malia are adults. They study, work, and live more private lives. But the values their parents taught them, the kindness, respect, responsibility, still guide them. They are not just daughters of a former president. They are young women making their own way in the world. The Obama family shows us that parenting isn't about being perfect. It's about being present. It's about teaching your children how to be good people, no matter where you live, even in the White House. Chapter 8, Lessons from Obama, 10 Life Lessons for English Learners. Barack Obama's life is filled with lessons, not just for leaders or politicians, but for all of us. His story teaches us how to grow, lead, and stay true to ourselves. If you're an English learner, you can find special meaning in his journey. Why? Because Obama faced struggles, used the power of words, and kept learning all his life. Here are 10 powerful life lessons you can take from him, lessons that will help you become a better speaker, learner, and human being. 1. Your story matters. Obama's father was from Kenya. His mother was from Kansas. He grew up in Hawaii and Indonesia. His background was different. But instead of hiding it, he shared it. He said, "In the story of my father's life, I saw the possibility of my own." Don't be afraid of your roots. Your story is your strength. Tell it with pride. 2. Education is power. From a young age, Obama loved books. He studied hard, went to top schools, and never stopped learning. He said, "The best anti-poverty program is a world-class education." As an English learner, remember, every new word you learn is a key that opens a new door. Keep studying. Keep reading. It will change your life. 3. Speak with purpose. Obama didn't speak just to be heard. He spoke to inspire. He believed that words can heal and lead. He practiced his speeches carefully, making sure every sentence had meaning. You don't need to speak fast. Speak clearly. Speak with heart. People will listen. 4. Listen before you speak. Even as president, Obama took time to listen. To advisors. To students. To strangers. He once said, "Learning to stand in somebody else's shoes is one of the most important things in life." Great speakers are great listeners first. Understand others, and they will understand you. 5. Failure is part of the journey. Obama didn't win every race. He lost a campaign for Congress before running for Senate. But he didn't give up. He said, "Making your mark on the world is hard. It takes patience, it takes commitment, and it comes with plenty of failure. If you make mistakes in English, don't stop. Each mistake is a step forward." 6. Stay calm under pressure. Being president isn't easy. Wars, crises, disasters, they all came during his time in office. Yet Obama stayed calm. He took deep breaths. He thought before reacting. You don't need to panic if you don't know a word. Pause. Smile. Try again. Calmness gives you control. 7. Hope is a superpower. His campaign was built on one word, hope. In dark times, he reminded people that change is possible. He said, "Hope is not blind optimism. It's the belief that something better awaits if we're willing to work for it. Believe in your progress. Even small steps will take you far." 8. Unity is stronger than division. Obama always looked for what connected people, not what separated them. He said, "We are not as divided as we seem." Learn to work with others. Practice English with friends. Ask for help. Support others. Together, we go farther. 9. Be true to yourself. Obama didn't try to be someone else. He was honest about his past. He shared his doubts, his faith, his dreams. That's what made people trust him. You don't need to be perfect. Be real. Be yourself. That's where true confidence begins. 10. Never stop dreaming. From a little boy in Hawaii to the White House, Obama showed that dreams can come true. But only if you work for them. He said, "The road ahead will be long. But I've never been more hopeful." Keep your dreams alive, whether it's to master English, travel the world, or help others. You can do it. These lessons are not just from a leader, they are from a learner, a speaker, a dreamer. Barack Obama's life reminds us that progress takes time, effort, and heart. If you're learning English today, remember, every step you take brings you closer to your goal. Keep reading. Keep listening. Keep speaking. And most of all, keep believing in yourself. Thank you for joining this journey through the life of Barack Obama. From childhood to presidency, from speeches to life lessons, we've learned more than just English. We've learned about leadership, kindness, and hope. Stay tuned for more inspiring English stories about famous people from around the world. Until next time, stay motivated, keep learning, and remember, yes, you can.